an all-familiar sound. We, as humans, have developed a way to keep track of time. We measure every second that goes by. Every second that we have left. Even as our lives tick by, the sound of time is a comfort to many. There are those who do not like to see their time waste away. Every second of every hour must be meaningful, must be important. And there are those who wish for nothing more than for time to stop. For the never-ending, incessant sound to stop. What they both don't realize is their time will end. But the clock never stops. The Circle of the Tipping Hourglass. Assignment 3652. Time heals all wounds. Bright, blinding lights fill the space. They are hotter and brighter than any sun, than any fire, than any newfangled electric light. There is a pristine white desk that seems to hover just barely above the floor. The floor itself is a strange mixture of shifting color and texture, same as the walls. They are there. They are familiar. They are tangible. And yet they're none of those things. This room, if it can be called that, reeks of bleed. And yet there's not an ounce of bleed in it. This space is a constantly changing mix of contradicting alterations, and in the midst of trying to figure out what is going on, we see a figure standing by what is now a shelf, lined with book after book, volume after volume, extending past the walls we thought were there only moments ago. And this figure, this woman, is reading. What book is too strenuous a detail for us to focus on? But we know she is reading. And she sits in front of this desk on a chair that was apparently there. And she picks up a pen. And she begins to write notes in the margins. We sit with her. And we wait. You could swear you can hear the ticking of the clock as time passes. But I wouldn't swear time passes here. Would you?
We made a deal, Naomi.
Jaxxon.
What's the holdup?
Yes, I suppose we did, didn't we? You do have the most interesting times that you arrive, you know that?
The days pass, and yet no progress has been made.
You know better than anyone that days passing is just a theory. And for the record, progress has been made, you just haven't been told. I have an assignment for you. A circle to go to. I believe it's dealing with exactly what I'm asking of you.
You believe? You don't know.
It's a little hard to know things when they deal with phenomena. But yes, to a high degree, Jaxxon, I know. Does that settle your curiosity?
You're getting there.
And she's put her pen down at this point, and she's kind of like closed the little book that she was reading and writing into. She hasn't like gotten up from her seat yet, but in this moment she like takes a deep breath and she's like, she gets up, she goes to that little bookshelf and she scrolls through, picks out a new book. The Circle of the Tipping Hourglass. They work in Groundswell under the Candied Clinic. Lightkeeper is Ellen Rang. It's not important, she won't bother you. The Circle, their members are mostly, what's the word I'm looking for? Inexperienced. You shouldn't have too much of an issue on that front. There's one you need to keep an eye on. His name is Bohdi.
Jaxxon pulls the chair out, grabs a glass of whiskey. I told you, Naomi, I don't need a circle. They'll only slow me down.
And I told you, Candela doesn't care about what you need. Just because a deal is between us doesn't mean I can skirt every rule that exists for you. So you will work with the circle, you will go on the assignment, you will bring me back what I asked alive, or we don't have a deal. Are we clear?
Fine. Now, tell me about this Bohdi.
We believe he has connections to the creature you're looking for. I can't say much more than that. Not on behalf of Candela and me not telling you things quite literally. Not even Candela knows. So that's why I warn you. Less of that we think he's a threat, and more of if that we don't know. There's no telling what anyone else does. Or doesn't, for that matter.
Gotcha.
Okay. The other two, there's a soldier, some sort of phenomenon incident. She might have effects, I don't know. The other is a young journalist, extroverted, loud, shouldn't be a problem. It's a relatively small circle.
Do they have much experience in bleed?
They barely have experience in the field.
Amazing.
Yeah. They're usually sent on assignments that deal more with either unalive things affected with phenomena, or their lightkeeper tends to begrudgingly, on our half, collect little creatures. Part of the deal we make with her. As much as we don't care with her, she's valuable.
What do you mean?
You'll see when you get there. They're relatively harmless. We keep an eye on most of them, whether she knows it or not. She's a strange character, but she's a doctor. And there aren't many out there who can tend to bleed in that way.
So why this circle if none of them have any experience?
For Bohdi. We think he's connected. And if he's connected, theoretically, we can't send you after it if there could be side effects or causes or things that involve him that then hinder the mission we're sending you on.
Understood.
Also, as far as Candela is concerned, you're the bleed expert. So your cover is essentially exactly that. They won't know what they're getting into. They will know there's a lot of bleed. So put on a pretty face and play your job well.
I'll do what I can.
Excellent. And she sort of also now just reaches into the air and pulls out her beverage of choice. It's not anything that is a part of this material plane, so to speak. But you've seen her consume it multiple times, and she just sort of pours a glass of it, sort of rising out from the desk itself, a glass. She pours into it, and it's like almost this sparkly clear liquid. And she like looks like she's gonna gulp it, but she takes the tiniest of sips, and then just puts it back down. That should be everything. We know what you know, or I know what you know. There's not much I can tell you about the creature besides what you already know. It should function similarly to the ones we have on record, but there's definitely something different, so be careful. And I wouldn't say that to you, unless it was serious.
Of course.
Any questions?
None that I think you'll answer.
Yeah, you're probably right about that. Very well. Then you can head straight there. They should be arriving at the chapter house soon.
I'll make my way.
We fade into the chapter house, basement of the Candied Clinic. You three are already there. And Ellen knows you're here. She is not down in this space yet, so you have a moment to converse with each other, but you made it very clear that you need to talk.
Billie is sitting on the couch, reading a book about owls. But what you guys don't know is that that Polaroid of James is sitting right in front of her, and she seems off. But she looks up at Sully. Sully! How are you doing? Are you feeling better from the knockout yesterday?
No.
No?
How are you doing? I know I am not doing well.
I'm doing good. I'm reading a book about owls. Did you know that screecher owls are 5 inches tall?
That's incredibly small for a thing to be alive. I need a drink. I find the bar.
Yep.
I find a bar.
She does not keep alcohol in her basement, so you have the choice between lemonade, water with lemons in it, and water.
Ah, bitch.
Oh no, bitch is in the corner.
I promise I do not want to be near bitch at all.
Bitch takes his tongue out and goes to put it over his entire wall of eyeballs, and then just stares at you with every single eyeball and brings his tongue back in without doing it.
I hate you. You know I hate you. And I take a glass of water and I sit uncomfortably on the couch. My arm area hurts.
Yep.
And you can't tell how much it hurts by looking at me, but it's like I'm not bending my elbow. I like sit rigidly, and I quietly sip my water, and I don't talk for the rest of the time until Ellie Mae gets here.
While you're reading, the adjective I'm gonna use, goopy, creature, crawls from the back of like the chair you're sitting on and onto your shoulder. Now you would be alarmed normally because the creatures don't leave their tanks, right? They're phenomena. They have bleed attached to them. But this one you see everywhere at random times, often in the Candied Clinic. This is Ellen's little guy. This is, he's got what look like little circle frog toes. You know how they...
Yeah.
But he's shaped kind of like a lizard. And he's got very sharp teeth if he ever opens his mouth, rows of them. Big old, like, googly eye style eyeballs. And the snake eyelids that kind of blink over top that aren't real like that. And then he's got frills that stick out right behind his little head and a little tail. He is what's known in a very basic phenomena in Candela. You guys haven't necessarily met him, like the species, but he's well known because they often introduce people to Candela with this. This is an axle gator. It is a combination of like axolotl, alligator type of thing. It's a mixture of the light pink of an axolotl and the puke green of an alligator, so the colors kind of mix together. But the reason why they use them and why you would know of these guys, not just Ellen's little one, but them in general, is because they are oddly not harmful, at least not actively harmful, to people. And that is not a thing that happens with phenomena, ever. But he just sort of crawls on your little shoulder, and he just kind of looks at you.
Oh my gosh. Hello, little guy.
And then he licks your little nose.
Oh.
And he crawls down your hand while you put it there, and he sits in a position so like he can read the book with you.
Did you know that owls can rotate their heads 270 degrees?
And he flicks his little tongue as if to say, cool.
Right on.
Does Ellie have a name for this one?
You would know that he's kind of not named. He's more like called every nickname you can think of for a cute little guy. So Bub, little dude, buddy, everything.
Frank.
Yeah, that works.
Frank.
Guys, Frank is reading my book with me.
You really do just talk to everything, don't you?
Oh, yeah. 270 degrees.
At this moment, Ellen, she comes into the room and she sees all three of you and she's like, good morning.
I quickly close my book and I just pretend like I wasn't staring at that photo the entire time. And I say nothing.
So, I know you all want to talk. So let's talk?
Sully, I think you should start.
Oh, you want me to lead this? That's fascinating. What the fuck was that?
Well, I warned you it would be in Tottergrass.
Yeah, and that was the extent of the warning. To me.
Yeah. Okay.
Let me ask you something, Ellie Mae. Do you know the name Eloise O'Sullivan? Did it happen to pop up in that little assignment of yours?
I know your last name is O'Sullivan.
Good connection. Do you know the name that I provided to you just now? Eloise O'Sullivan?
No.
No? Candela Obscura had no idea about that name.
That is not something I can answer.
Are you sure about that?
I did not know.
Can I do a read?
You may.
That's a 2.
As far as you can tell, she's her normal self. She's telling the truth. She's a little nervous because you're all confronting her and she's not a confrontation person. That's as far as you can tell.
Eloise O'Sullivan is my youngest sister, and she was at the bleed. I just thought maybe it would have been pertinent for Candela Obscura to maybe point that out to me before they sent me to my fucking house, where I had to interview my family, where I had to look my father in the eyes, my sister, my mother, everyone. It wasn't just Tottergrass, Ellie Mae. It was my family. They were personally there at the bleed. Do you understand that? Do you understand what, not I just put on the line, but Bohdi, but Billie? Shit happened to us out there.
I didn't know. I know what they tell me. I can't usually ask for more. I do tell them to tell me when you guys are involved, and I didn't know that either of you or any of you were involved besides Tottergrass. If they knew, I wouldn't be surprised. And you might feel shameful of me for not pushing, but when you're a light keeper, you are very easily replaced. And there are not many of us who actively look out for our circles. They're more light keepers than not. The people who live in this job, because not many do. Not many make it past your seat within a month, let alone a year. Those that continue to live give Candela everything because they're still living. There are not many of us in my position who can stay in my position with too much pushback. So I did ask for the record, and I tell them to. If they didn't tell me and they knew, then I would suggest you take everything I say with a grain of salt. Because if they're not telling me, they're most certainly not telling all of you something.
Well, my little sister's best friend died last night. And it was because I got knocked flat on my ass because I was underprepared for what we were facing. So if you're expecting pity, you're not going to get it from me. Anyone else want to talk? I'm done.
No, I've never expected pity from you since the day I've met you. That's not something that really should be given. I always admired that about you.
Ellie Mae, what do you think they're doing? Do you have any inclination of what's going on?
No. I stay where I am for the reason that I try not to push and the reason that they need doctors. It's why I have a clinic. It's why I have a wall of friends in this basement that they don't take from me. I am a doctor. I heal. I save. Sometimes I save people from Candela, not just from Candela. That's the most that I can do.
I open the book back up and I take the photo of James and I hold it up, hand shaking. Do you know who this is?
She will gesture to take it from you. She does. No. I assume it's James? I know all of your, well, I know most of your, at least reasons for joining Candela. That we have to know as light keepers, but I don't keep the records. I don't keep your files. That's at the Fourth Pharaoh's. Sometimes people can access that. It's not usually for circles like yours, but only Naomi has access to those files. I wouldn't know who he is besides that.
Naomi?
Yes, Naomi Malik. She's the conservator of Candela. The Fourth Pharaoh's is, well, I guess it's time for a history lesson for everyone. And at this point, little Bud, our little Axel Gator, has climbed up her leg and is now sitting on Ellie's shoulder. He just likes to watch you guys. And she sort of goes, well, for circles that tend to be actively fighting against phenomena in the field a little more than you all are, they usually bring back whatever phenomena or creatures they are able to through the flare itself. There are thinnings all over the place, which you guys know, but these chapter houses that have circles like that tend to be stationed in a building that houses a thinning. So they step through from our place into the Fourth Pharos in the Phenomena world. And the Fourth Pharos is the vault for everything Candela keeps, so to speak.
Vault.
Kind of a vault. It's I've only been there with a guide. You can't really navigate it unless you have someone who knows how to commune with the magic like that. But when I was there, we walked a little bit through somewhat of a vault, and Naomi was in her office. You get introduced to most people. I didn't really speak with her, but the section she was in was kind of like a mansion almost. Like a house, but not a house. It's a little hard to explain. But she's Candela's records keeper. There's some other high officials, but she's the one who keeps all the files. Doesn't mean it's going through her in order to get cases assigned. But she might be the person to ask if you ever get the chance.
Sully, the sketchbook, if you will.
So this is the sketchbook. Interesting. And you see her, against all of your better judgment, she just takes her hand and she just touches the
Yo.
the drawing of Dorothy's shifted face. And she just sort of, you can see for a moment, her hand starts to go through it, and she brings it back out, and little bits of like dust and black sort of sand, fuzzy static just sort of fall and meld back into the page. I know this. And she goes over to that desk that's covered in papers that are not organized whatsoever. She starts shuffling through them again. And she finds one, she pulls out, it's like a crumpled sticky note. And she's like, the Jaxxon. They are kind of like shifting, shadowy creatures, but they often deal in memory loss. When they sort of latch themselves onto a person, everyone else who knew the victim starts to forget things about them. You all said that the creature you fought killed Dorothy, right?
Yes.
You shouldn't remember.
I remember. Do you remember?
I remember.
Do you remember?
I remember.
And yet here we are remembering.
And she takes up a pencil and immediately starts writing more on this sticky note as much as she can. She's like, and then she like flips the papers and put it back into the disorganized mess where it was, as if she knows where everything is. And she's like, fascinating. We should keep an eye on that.
Should I see a doctor?
I am the doctor.
Oh.
And in light of the assignment, you don't remember. Are we clear?
All right.
Why?
Because you're not supposed to. When an Jaxxon, it's rare, very, very rare. But if they're able to completely sort of siphon a life energy from a person, if the victim is wiped, all recollection of that victim should be wiped. So none of you should remember her at all, even whatever state you found her in. And if Candela is not telling us things, we don't tell Candela. So as far as the reports are concerned, as far as we are concerned, you don't remember. Do we understand?
That sounds fair to me.
I don't like the feeling of this.
I simultaneously love and hate the feeling of this. You do actually have an assignment today, And she sort of looks at that watch that isn't there again. She's like, oh, and I need to tell you right away. Speaking of Candela, and being forthright and trying to give you as much information as possible, you have a new person being assigned to you for this case. What Candela has told me, and I know the name a little bit, they're quite famous in the organization. They are a bleed specialist, and the assignment that you've been assigned today has massive amounts of bleed. We don't know, as far as I'm aware, we don't know what the source is. We don't even really know what happened, but we just know there's a lot of bleed. So there's a man named Jaxxon who's a bleed specialist. He's coming in probably a few minutes. He tends to be on time. And he is straight from the organization. So take that as you will.
I think this might be a good thing, guys.
I don't know.
I think we might be able to find out at least a little bit more of what's going on. Maybe he knows something.
I'm sure he does. Mr. Jackson's scary.
Well,
You know Jaxxon?
I know of him, and
Really?
he's a terrifying man. Mr. Jackson is...
Mr. Jaxxon.
Yeah. He gets assigned to very difficult assignments, and he's just really terrifying.
So I'm sorry, is he assigned with us because are you saying we did a bad job last time? I mean, I know we did, but like the subject died, but I'm taking it a little personally.
I would never say anything of the sort.
Sure.
Candela might,
Okay.
but I would never say anything of the sort. I think you all are lovely.
oh,
Okay.
thanks,
Thanks.
Ellie.
Appreciate it. That's...
And just in that moment, you don't need to figure out where it happens. They tell you everything. You come straight down the stairs into this little gaggle of people. Oh, Jaxxon, I presume?
Indeed.
Welcome. This is Billie,
Hi, Jaxxon. Billie Blaine. I'm a journalist for Newsfair. Nice to meet you.
Billie?
Bohdi,
Hi.
Bohdi.
and Sully.
Pleasure.
Hi,
And
Sully.
I'm your lightkeeper, Ellie. You can Ellen, but you can call me Ellie Mae. Everyone does. I'm just about to give assignment details. So
Perfect.
we'll go right through it. I'm going to literally describe this to you, but this is Ellie speaking to you. She essentially tells you that they have an assignment for you from a contact of theirs in the OUP. The OUP is the periphery, or the police force's kind of secret division that deals with phenomena. So the normal periphery and everyday person of New Fair and the Fairlands has no idea phenomena magic exists. The OUP does. They
So-
act as a sect that knows.
They're like the magic FBI.
Yes.
Okay.
Alright.
Is exactly what they are. They have a contact. Her name is Farah Naftali. This is their contact from the OUP. And what happened, essentially, is Farah and some regular periphery officers received a report, because the OUP kind of works undercover with regular periphery. They received a report from a very old woman who came into their offices, and she said that she heard yelling and some slamming noises in the apartment across from her, and she was concerned for the anyone who might live there, and asked them to check it out. The next day, they went to check it out. A man did answer the door, very clearly, like, damaged. He wouldn't let them in, insisted everything was fine. The periphery legally cannot enter, cannot pursue the matter if he doesn't do anything on his own. However, Farah, being a part of them, has a bleed detector on her, and the reason why Candela is sending you to this mission is because her bleed detector broke, standing outside the door of the apartment.
God damn.
And she essentially was like, I can't do anything. There's no way for the periphery to continue this without the man inviting us in, sending it off to you. So Candela is giving it to all of you. I have the address. It's an apartment in the Sickels. Relatively middle class, up and coming neighborhood. case you haven't been there, not assuming, of course, I just know one of you sleeps on my couch. So the old woman who filed the report, her name is Mrs. Shelley Charms. They never got the name of the man, though. He didn't let them in or anything or give a name. But her apartment number is 32B. So she gives you the address, whoever wants it, for the apartment in the Seidel.
Do you have any particular artifacts or anything that you could donate to the cause?
So there's these things called snaps, and they look like if you guys ever use the little white like fake fireworks things, you throw them on the ground, they snap. They're those, but they release a blinding light. Like literally, if you look at it when it snaps, you will go blind.
Like a mini flashbang.
Okay.
Yeah, kind of like flashbang territory, but there's no sound attached. It's just light. The snap is for the snap of the light, is why they call them that. And it lasts for like maybe a second. Like maybe. It's fast, and then it's gone. So she can give you those. The other one is, this strikes you all right away for how Ellie Mae is. When she goes to get this, she puts on gloves.
Yo.
And
Hey.
opens a box that is the only piece not under piles of other phenomena that shouldn't be touching each other and clever. It is specifically on a shelf. She puts on these gloves and she takes the box off. And she turns it to you all and she opens it. And it's just a ring. It's a very plain ring. With like a little black gem in the center. And she's like, so, this is a void ring. You know how, black holes work?
Well,
It's kind of like that.
Okay.
But in miniature form. When you put it on something.
Ellie, where'd you get that?
So if you put it on something.
Wow. Can I make a focus?
You want to try and see where it's from, if you know it?
Yeah,
Go for it.
I got 2.
Yeah, no. You've never seen it before, and that's weird for you. You're like, what the fuck? Who the hell is this
like
lady?
A black hole.
Yeah. And so she goes, there's just one thing. As far as we know, super effective, being used for like very powerful phenomena, traps them inside, right? Amazing. Candela hasn't figured out how to get things out of it. So I can give it to you. Just be careful when you put it on something, because it might never come out again.
So I can't put it on.
No. No.
But like so what you're saying is I have to propose to something.
You could propose to it. Some folks from the Red Lamp District are often very good at like, put on my ring, and then they get people to put on their rings. Sometimes I've had very, very nice people from like Briar Green who can pretend it's like expensive, and then they get people to try it on.
Is there anybody in that ring?
Yeah, what's in there? How many times has this been used?
I don't know that answer.
Okay, are you sure?
Do you know the answer to the question I asked?
Maybe. Nothing can come out of it, so it doesn't really matter.
So do I have to forgive me, but
Oh, I'm not giving it to you, sweetheart.
okay.
I was gonna give it to Sully. I figured you were the muscle, but honestly, if you go missing, less people would. Maybe I should give it to you.
Give me the ring. Don't say that to Bohdi. Give it to me.
It's okay.
It's not okay. Give me the ring.
She hands you the box.
Okay.
It's a ring box, so it's regular size. You can put it in your pocket.
Okay.
And she's like, it's totally fine to like touch. It's just when it goes on something, like something goes through the ring area, then it black holes.
Fair enough. All right.
It only black holes what's attached to the thing through the ring area.
When would we be able to speak to the conservator?
Naomi.
She doesn't particularly take appointments. I can send a letter, and I can ask. I will detail that we are concerned with the lack of information given for your last assignment, and that a meeting would like to be had. I can't promise she'll say yes, but I'll send one.
What do you want to speak to her about?
We just have some questions about things.
I see.
Our last assignment was a bit of a disappointing result, so we talked to Ellie Mae about it before you got here, but figured maybe going higher up would clear the air a bit. That's all.
Well, to tell you the truth, Naomi was not much for conversation.
Great.
So
Seems to be a common theme with the company here. That's perfect.
yeah,
You know Naomi.
I do.
Oh, you do personally?
I do.
Can you send her a letter for us?
I can do better than that.
What can you do?
I can speak to her.
Well, hey. Mr. Jackson's not so bad.
If you make it worth my time, of course.
Oh.
See, there it is. I told you.
What exactly do you mean by that?
We can discuss compensation after the assignment.
All right.
Should
Fair
we all
enough.
live through it?
You come across the apartment. It's just a simple, like, silver metal door and a few steps.
Mrs. Shelley Charms. That was the woman that made the report, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
She heard yelling and slamming. We can at least ask who the man is, maybe.
Yeah.
Does she know him?
We could start there.
We need a reason to...
Yeah, I
Need to-
agree. I'm assuming that she would be wondering why she's getting questioning again.
Do we enter?
We enter.
Hey, the door's unlocked. You come to a little, like, opening baby waiting area. Kind of like how the Candy Clinic is, where it's a very, very, very early stages of, like, a buzzer ring. Whereas Ellen only had one button that would just buzz her. This has multiple for every apartment that's in here. So it has the apartment number, the name of the person living there, and then a little buzzer. It would be 34B, would be the apartment number across from her for the man you're looking for.
How many apartments are on a floor?
Maybe 4.
4.
I want to look at who's in 34B.
The man
Yes. the
says
name.
Mr. Harrison.
Mr. Harrison.
Does everyone else list first and last? And his
Nope.
is...
It's,
okay.
they all just list one name, just
Okay,
last name.
Okay.
So Mrs. Shelley Charms just
Mrs.
is
Charms.
Charms.
Okay.
So it could be like a family there.
I guess we buzz Miss Charms.
Bzzz.
Takes a second, more like a minute, and you wait, and then you just hear, hello?
Hi, Mrs. Charms. Are you busy right now?
No, how can I help you?
I got a team here. We're just doing a little investigation, and we wanted to come up and talk to you.
Oh, are you from the periphery from the report that I filed?
Something like that. We just need to ask you a few questions.
Oh, of course, sweetheart. And she buzzes you right up. As you go upstairs, you pass a few others. It's very much like the staircase is one thing, and then there's a door on each floor to lead you into the hallway. It's kind of like dormitory style. You get to the second floor, you exit into the hallway, and she is already like standing in the door frame of her apartment door. And she sees you guys come up. She goes, "You're the periphery, right? Yes, come in. And she brings you in her apartment. And she
So
closes the
trusting.
door behind you all. She goes, please have a seat. And it's like old lady rich, where she clearly like was back when she bought the furniture. But like it's been 80 years, you know what I mean? So it's a little covered in dust and stuff. She's like, have a seat, darlings. I'll get some water. And she Granny walks to go get some water for all of you.
I take a seat.
I subtly take out my bleed detector that is a compass.
Yes.
And I just kind of like set it on my lap.
Roll sense for me.
1.
The thing with bleed detectors, the reason why I have you roll is to see how much you understand. Bleed detectors always work. There is no determining whether or not they work. There's no bleed. This thing detects no bleed in this apartment whatsoever. She comes back with the water too. She hands each one of you a glass. Gives everybody water.
I won't take it. I'll just have her set it on the table.
She puts it on the table. She like doesn't even rack it. Like, just puts it on the table for you. She's like, so, have you seen him yet? Were you able to check on him?
No, that's actually what we were coming to ask you about.
Oh, okay.
So, tell us more about exactly what happened that night.
Oh, well, I was up a little later than I should be. My game show was on. Well, they argue a lot over there, and they're usually pretty loud, but it's not often that, you know, they're sort of, all the things that come after it, they were yelling like they usually do. And then there was like this loud sort of crashing sound, and then I waited a second because I didn't want to get involved. I'm old and frail. I didn't, you know, what crashed? I don't know. And so I heard that, and I was a little worried. But it was the dead of night. I couldn't go anywhere. And so I figured, well, maybe if they're silent now, that they're okay. But then I heard the door slam, like the apartment door, I think. There should only be one door. And then I heard someone running down the stairs. And so in the morning, I made my way to the periphery office, and I filed the report.
Miss Charms, you said they. Does
Yes.
somebody live with Mr. Harrison?
Oh, yes. Oh, it's Jeremy and Matthew. They're newlyweds.
Oh.
Well, newlyweds to me. I've been married. I was married. My husband died a while ago, but I was married for like 60 years. So, you know, like 5 years is pretty new.
Oh, so they've only been married 5 years?
Yeah.
Yes.
Very sweet boys.
What were their names again?
Jeremy and Matthew.
Jeremy and Matthew.
Yes.
And do you, by any chance, remember? You said you heard one leaving.
Yeah.
Did he ever come back?
Oh, well, I did go to sleep, but I don't think so. I don't recall anyone coming back.
How often have you heard disturbances like this for Jeremy and Matthew?
Well, they do argue quite a bit. There's not usually any other sounds, but they tend to argue. Matthew usually comes home pretty late, so I don't know what he does, but I imagine that coming home late, combined with drinking, is not always the best option.
Drinking?
Yes. You know young people. They drink everything.
Who drinks?
I assume they both do. I don't know. I don't see Jeremy much.
Do they sound intoxicated?
Oh, I've never talked to them.
So what makes you think they're drinking?
Well, roll read for me.
5.
Well, I know I look old, Sonny, and I am old, but back in my day, we didn't call it whatever they call it now. We just called it red. You know, that stuff that they do in the speakeasies. I know what young people do. I know the smell of scarlet when it comes down, okay? And he often reeks of it when he comes home. So, drinking is fine, but wherever he's going clearly doesn't do the legal kind. Which is fine. I did that in my day. But, you know, I know how to cover up smell. That's all I'm saying.
We hold no judgment,
Yes.
Miss Charms.
Yes.
Of course. Have they argued for as much as since they moved in across the?
Oh no, they were sweet when they first came in. They were married before they came in. They came into this apartment maybe like a year and a half ago, 2 years. But they were sweet when they first came in. I met them once or twice. And there wasn't a lot of arguing. It's only lately that there's been a lot of, well, maybe I should rephrase that. There's always been arguing. It's only lately that it seems to get so loud and
Do you know what
cantankerous.
the two of them do for work?
No, I'm afraid not.
Fair enough. Just figured
When
I'd
you
ask.
say loud, what exactly do you hear?
Well, usually it's just sort of newfangled curse words back and forth.
So shouting.
Shouting, yes.
Do you hear anything that might sound a bit unnatural?
Oh, no.
Nothing?
I don't think so.
Okay.
At what time did you hear the loud crash that you said that you reported?
Oh, it was pretty late, so maybe 9:30?
The sun was down, that's for certain. Have you seen Jeremy since the incident?
No, I was hoping Periphery you would all check on him.
And we plan to.
Okay, good.
I think we're gonna go speak to Mr. Harris.
Yes, go right ahead. Go right ahead.
Thank you so much for your time.
My main concern is, it sounds like a certain Jeremy might be in a little bit over his head, relationship-wise. I'd like to move in.
I want to go up to Mr. Harrison's door and just
Okay.
see if I can sense anything. Oh, 2.
Take a point of bleed.
Oh no, I have a scar now.
So we're not in high stakes, so you don't become incapacitated. You do take your scar. All of a sudden, you get close to this door, and it feels like, for a split second, there is something digging its fingernails into your brain and separating everything you've ever seen or ever heard or ever experienced piece by piece for a split second.
I freeze and I start making just really unintelligible noises, and I try to like say things, but my words just
What?
Billie,
wrong with her?
what's going on? Are you okay? Take a step back. Take a breather.
And
You
then
okay?
I step back and I start. My brain is hurting. I can't think. Everything is a mess, and I'm just like,
Take a deep breath. What happened to you?
don't touch the door.
Mr. Harrison!
The door cracks ever so slightly, and he's like, yes?
Mr. Harrison, we're with the, what is it, periphery? Periphery.
I already told you I'm fine.
Sorry, we just didn't catch your first name.
Oh, Jeremy.
Jeremy, do you mind if we come in and ask you a couple of questions?
Yes.
You do mind?
Yes, I do.
Can we stand out here and ask you a couple of questions?
Roll sway.
3?
He starts to close the door.
Wait,
What?
where's Matthew?
Excuse me?
Matthew.
Why do you need to know about my husband?
We've had some reports that he may be causing some trouble in the area. Some other residents have been complaining about Matthew.
Roll sway.
Got a 6.
Okay. You three recognize immediately from your last assignment when he says something about causing trouble. Jeremy has that thing that you've seen twice, where he sort of goes,
Oh.
Brick.
Matthew could be in trouble?
Yes.
Oh,
When's the last time you saw him?
oh, not for a couple days. Yeah, come in.
Nice.
And he enters you all in.
Beautiful.
Do you have a scar for me yet?
There was hands inside of my brain, and every once in a while they started scratching to the point where like it would itch, or it would scratch, or it would tickle a little bit. But either way, whenever that happens, I just sound like,
Unintelligible.
yeah, I get like it's like nothing.
So as he opens the door and you guys enter, you can see him fully. He has a swollen black and blue eye, and he's got like a bunch of abrasions on his shoulders and the arms that are clear. The rest of his body is covered, kind of like very classic 1920s, like full casual housewear, but like covered. He does kind of hold like his left arm a little bit higher. It's not in a sling or anything, but he kind of like holds it a little. But he lets you all in, closes the door behind you, and he kind of goes, I don't really have anything for guests, but please, what's
Your
going
time
on?
is enough. Has anything weird been going on with Matthew lately?
Well...
Have you noticed any changes in his behavior?
He, I mean, over the past couple of nights, he started coming home a little later, but he told me it was just for work. He works in, the Steamworks, so I thought that might be it, but, I mean, he does seem a little more, like, drunk than usual when he comes home, so kind of assumed lately maybe it wasn't for work.
Do you know what he drinks?
No, he's stopped at the Fair Play before. The Fair Play, you guys would know, is a well-known bar in the Red Lamp. It's a bar and brothel, is the legal side of it. But it's a very well-known secret that might be the legal side of their business, like the part that the law allows, but they're very much a Scarlet dealer. The back rooms are very much Scarlet, private communications, that kind of thing.
Is Scarlet just like a drug?
So Scarlet is a hallucinogenic that takes forms of both like liquid, gaseous, kind of like drug territory, but it is considered the illegal drug of the Fairlands.
Okay.
He goes to the Fair Play. I know he gets some drinks there. We've been a couple of times, but he doesn't usually get, like stay there that late. I don't know.
Jeremy, you look hurt. Have you seen a doctor?
Oh, I'm fine. Really. Just mishap, that's all.
What happened?
Well, we have some drink here in the house too, and it was a late night, and I was drinking, and
It's okay.
I think I fell into our table, and he sort of gestures to the center of the room where there's no table.
Can I? Was
yeah,
that
yeah.
a?
Yeah, it was.
I want to.
Okay.
You don't need to read. It was.
Okay.
It absolutely was a pause.
That's what I thought.
Yep.
Okay.
Can I scan the room?
Absolutely. Are you looking for phenomena magic-y things or just scanning?
I think initially right now I just want to do scan. Just
Okay.
kind of...
Survey
like,
for me.
Survey.
No,
3.
you don't.
This just looks like another apartment.
Okay.
It's not very hard to tell after he gestures to the center of the room that there was the fashion of this era, a glass coffee table there at some point, or a glass something, 'cause there's a few shards left in the carpet.
So I can assume someone did break glass.
Something
probably.
or someone broke that
Okay.
coffee table, yeah.
We've all been there.
Okay.
Definitely.
What's the furnishing like in this apartment?
Regular, like everyday, middle class, doesn't seem particularly significant.
Is Matthew at work right now?
Yeah, he should be at work right now.
Excellent.
Jeremy, can you do me a favor and grab us all a glass of water, please?
Sure, of course. And he,
Take your time.
yeah, he kind of is like still a little weirded out because as far as he's concerned, there's something wrong with Matthew. So he goes back and he starts to get glasses of water.
Can I do a bleed check?
And then while he's
Whoops.
doing that, can I like specifically look for pictures of him and Matthew?
Yes, you can. Survey for me.
Survey again.
I got a 5.
Oh, 5's good. Your bleed detector. So you get to describe and tell me what your bleed detector is and how it relays bleed to you. So is it sound, is it visuals, or whatever? So hers is a compass. So what would you like your little bleed detector to be?
Oh, that's very cool. My bleed detector is it's a sort of like a seal that's braided with the threads of a magical creature's hair.
Love that.
Oh.
And it casts like a mental image to me with no sound.
The image that you get is kind of like a very fast picture book flipping through where you can't quite see everything it's showing you because of how fast it's going. But you can clock the fair play for sure. You can clock people in black suits. And you can clock Silver Slip, which is another town in New Fair. You do have to take a point of bleed, though. And then what'd you roll?
A 3.
A 3? Okay. There are no photos in this apartment.
Oh, wow.
None.
Like, none as in, like, there's none posted? Or, like, they were taken out of frames?
No,
Just none?
There's just none.
Okay.
He comes back with your water. He's like,
Thank you so much.
You've given us a lot of good information about Matthew, and we appreciate it. And we're going to get to the bottom of...
and you'll make sure he's okay?
We will. And furthermore, we're going to make sure that the both of you are okay. And personally, Jeremy, I want you to know that there's nothing wrong with asking anybody for help about anything. You can ask our crew here right now today. You can reach out to the police. There's no shame in asking for anything from anybody. That's not a burden that you would put on anybody. So we're going to do our job, and we're going to make sure Matthew's able to do his job as well.
Okay. Great.
Thanks for the water.
As you head out, I need everybody to roll sense. So a 5 and a 6, and then that is considered a critical success. So,
Damn.
here's what I'm gonna do. You failed. Both of you technically succeeded, even if yours was a mix. Critical success means you just saved her a hell of a lot of bleed. I'm also gonna offer you something.
Oh, that's never good.
Oh.
You have let them in.
I do.
I'm gonna offer you 2 choices. You may use it now without taking a single point of bleed if you have a question about the source that you want to ask me. Or there is a point in the future I will let you save this critical success to use with that moment.
I think I'm going to take the second option.
You know this bleed. You know this bleed. You know this bleed. It's a little different. It's a little different. But you know that bleed. You were just on that assignment. You know this bleed. It's a little different.
Okay, guys. So, what do we got?
Okay, well, I know that when I used my bleed detector, I saw bits of the fair play. I saw it was like a picture book that just kept moving and like infinitely. And I only got little glimpses. So I saw the fair play, I saw a silver slip, and I saw people in black suits.
Did you get any specific feeling from either of those two? Do you feel like any drive towards either of them in particular?
Only due to our conversation with Miss Charms, that fair play might be a sort of a hotbed for activity in Matthew, at least. I have no idea about the others.
Is there, and would any of us have any particular reason to know who the people in the black suits would be?
No.
Great.
Now we're gonna have you roll. No.
Okay, great.
Are we ready to just go straight into the action?
Well, everyone kind of took a hit. Is everyone feeling okay?
I'm good.
That sucked. I felt
Nothing
pretty
new.
bad about that. Sure,
I felt...
but that's the freaky part is that it's not new.
I hate that feeling. I hate that feeling.
Yeah.
But no, I'm okay. I'm okay. Bohdi,
I'm fine.
do we know what we're looking for? We're looking for maybe the same thing?
I mean, something tells me we're not going to find Matthew in a good state. So,
Well, technically, Jeremy knew more about Matthew than what we saw in Tottergrass.
very true.
So, it's my understanding that if it is the same thing, it's not very far in its process.
What did you see in Tottergrass?
Not much that we can remember,
No.
but from what we can,
I don't remember at all.
we know what
Don't remember or don't want to remember? All information is vital on this assignment.
and that's fully understood, believe me. But all we really remember as a group is what Candela provided us, and everything else based on the beast we were grappling with. I assume we didn't walk away with much of our memories. We got some fancy new scars, and I show him a bit of my heart scar that I got. But other than that, the details are a bit fuzzy.
Fair
Can I
play.
make a read check?
You would not be able to tell if they're lying or telling the truth, but you're very aware of why you're here. That's what I will tell you.
Understood.
Well, we can go to the fair play, which, if I'm understanding the city correctly, is very close to Silver Slip. So we can hit one before the other.
Do you not want to go to Steamworks?
It's an option, but it's also out of the way. And Jeremy said that he should be at work. That doesn't necessarily mean that's exactly where he is.
I think we should go with Jaxxon. Fair play.
So the Red Lamp District, despite it being a hub of arts and culture and nightlife, it's still active during the day, right? It's probably like noon, afternoon time. And maybe a little later, but it's still active. It gets its name because the electric lights here are red, just beet red. And it's full of casinos, art galleries, bars, brothels, everything under the sun. It is the center for entertainment, for all sorts in that variety, and not necessarily criminal activity. Like, you're not gonna necessarily get attacked on the street, but most places of entertainment will offer you anything if you pay them high enough. So lots of the bars or brothels also deal in scarlet, which is illegal, as we've talked about. Lots of the casinos do underhanded deals, everything under the sun. Even the art galleries have probably stolen some artwork. So the Fair Play is a brothel and bar. That's the way that they front. And as you come up across the building, it's just as gaudy as everything else in this district. It has bright lights on it. It's got little things in the windows that are like newfangled signs that are like, you know, like latest alcohol here, and it lists a brand, or like see our girls here, that kind of thing. And the door isn't really a door. It's kind of like those beads with curtain pieces, and there are people coming in and out and in and out. As you enter, this place is packed. It's set up like traditional, like, restaurant style, where it's like seats, but it's gigantic, like, long tables. So there's a mixture of patrons, of workers, of all sorts of people. They're playing cards, they're playing dice, they're drinking, they're having fun. It's loud, it's boisterous. You can barely enter without like every single person touching you. Most people aren't even sitting. And the second you enter, you hear a loud voice all the way from the right end side, where you can see the bar is, with like a lot of lights and maybe like a few seats. You hear a very loud voice, and it's a woman, the bartender, and she goes, "I've got seats down here if you're newcomers." You come across the bar, and for the rest of this place, it is well kept. It is well kept, it is organized, it is pristine. This is a bartender who takes their job seriously. And as maybe one or two of you sit down for the seats that are left and the rest of you are kind of standing, she just kind of looks at y'all and she's like, "What can I get you? What do you want?"
Can I get a water with a lemon, please?
"Yeah, sweetheart, of course you can."
Thank you.
She literally Doesn't even break eye contact.
Appreciate it.
What about the rest of you? What do you want? What are you here for?
I'll take
Whiskey.
your strongest.
Okay. What's that? What do you want?
Your strongest. You know.
All right, listen. If you're trying to, like, talk some double speak here, whatever the fuck you're doing, I don't give a shit. Tell me what you want.
Jaxxon just looks away. He just looks away.
Oh my god, I hate people like you. What do you want, sweetheart?
That'll be a whiskey for both me and him.
I got you. She just, like, immediately whiskey. What do you want?
Thank you.
That.
All right.
Whiskey.
She wants a
Can I also
different
get a Shirley Temple?
Yes, dude.
Of course she can, sweetheart. I like you.
Ew, thank you.
Just
Yay! Bohdi?
What?
Do you want some?
I'm okay. Thank you.
Okay.
nice.
Love a shrimp.
She continues like doing things at the bar, serving a few other people.
Cool.
This
She
is so
stays
fun,
in the section.
guys. What do we do now? You guys got your alcohol. I got my water.
Can I make a sense check? 6.
There is a door that is not a door because there's no doors here. It's curtains and beads. That is kind of like towards the back. That is the back rooms area. That kind of has little sparklings of bleed that you can kind of sense coming from that area.
What time is it?
Maybe like 3 o'clock.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like, do we know? We don't know if Matthew is here or not, right?
You'd have no idea.
Okay. Can I do a survey to?
There are way too many people here for you to check anything. You have no idea.
Okay.
Should we ask the lady about Matthew?
Yeah, why don't you guys keep her talking? I'm gonna head into the back room.
I know a guy.
Yes, you do. I've been waiting. All of a sudden, as you're beautifully drinking the Shirley Temple and you had a great experience with this bartender, you realize you've met her before. You are the type of person who talks to like everyone. So this is like someone that one day you just like met her sitting on a bench when you went to like eat, and you've had like a full ass like life altering talking conversation with her,
Okay.
but you never exchanged names.
Oh.
So, but you know her.
Okay.
You're comfortable enough with her to be
Okay.
like, oh, it's that bitch.
Oh,
You know?
Oh, her.
There you go.
Wait, guys. Bartender.
Yeah, what's up, sweetheart?
I know you. Billie Blaine.
The park girl.
Yes.
Girl, I thought I knew you.
How are you doing?
Oh my god. Oh, it's been a life, you know?
Really?
Yeah, it's been a good life, but it's been a life. How you been?
I've been good. Working with my friends
Good.
here. We got
Oh.
Bohdi, we got Sully, we got Jaxxon.
Hello.
So what's been going on?
Oh my gosh, not much. You know, bar life. Some people, stupid as fuck. Other people, like you, love them. Just kind of how it goes.
Oh, what's going on with the stupid people though?
Oh, you know how people are. Some people don't tip. Some people come in here, they get so drunk, and then they fall on their ass. We
Oh
gotta
my
kick them
God.
out. Some people, you know, trying to pull shit. And then some people, like, you know, they come to me and they have no idea. You know, like they try to go to the back rooms, but they don't know what they're doing. They're first timers. And everybody here expects me to take care of the first timers like I'm their mother. I ain't your fucking mother. You know what I'm saying?
What are you gonna do? Like,
Exactly.
what are you gonna do?
Go get fucking high. I don't give a shit. What do you think we are? Why I gotta be your caretaker? I got a bar to run.
Oh my god, have there been any first timers here lately?
First timers, I don't know. There've been some nasty people though that've been coming through. Ugh, that's annoying.
Really?
Yeah.
Why, nasty to you?
Well, they're
I
always
can rub
nasty.
them up.
It's that sweet. They're always like, most people don't mess with me, but like, nasty to like my patrons, you know? Cause like some people do come here for the alcohol and the girls, not just the scarlet.
Right.
And then these fuckers, they come out of the back room and they're all seeing shit. And they mess with my patrons. I don't like that.
Oh. Do you think we could talk to somebody that knows more about the Scarlet?
Oh, I know about it. What you want, huh? You into Scarlet now? I didn't picture you in sight.
You know, I've dabbled a few
Okay.
when I was a teenager, but you know, it's been a while.
Uh,
I'm not in my scene right now, but we are looking into it.
okay.
There's somebody that we knew, and they frequented here a lot. And
Oh, who is he? Who are they?
his name's Matthew.
Harrison?
Yes.
Oh, I hate that fucker.
Do you?
He not a friend of yours, is he?
No.
Thank God. I'm about to rip him a new one.
What happened?
But listen, that fucker been coming in here the past couple nights, and he always goes for Scarlet, which is fine, right? He probably done it before. I don't give a shit. But the other day, he came in here whining and crying like a little bitch. And he came to my bar trying to cry to me. I'm like, bitch, go get your drugs. And so he goes in the back room and he whining and crying. I had good business deal patrons back there complain to me that this man's sobbing into his Scarlet.
Oh my
I
god.
whining something about gonna go to jail or some shit. And I'm like, bitch, I don't care where you go as long as you don't bring my bar with me. Oh my God. Crazy. I hate that man.
Have you seen him lately?
Fuck no. Thank God he ain't been back.
Okay. Well, damn.
I don't know. He left with some of them suits.
Suits.
Yeah, we always got, you know how it go. Everybody nice and tidy in the courts and stuff, and they put on their suits. They all do Scarlet in the back. He left with a few of them.
Do you know where they're from?
Nah, I don't keep tracking of them. That's not my job.
Okay. Well, girl, it was nice seeing you.
It was good to see you too. Feel free to go on back. Do whatever y'all want.
Oh, thank you. I'll call you if I need you.
Great. She goes back to her work.
I don't remember her name.
That's okay.
I don't think she gave it.
She didn't.
Also, Park Girl.
yeah.
Earlier
She doesn't
Park
know my
Girl.
name. That's fine.
So Jaxxon left before you guys talked to the bartender
Okay.
to go to the back
Okay.
to consume Scarlet
nice.
and
Gotcha.
chat with the girls.
Probably maybe only one that's free. There's one that's sitting in a booth with other people. But the workers don't usually come back here. This is like a private dealer section, and unless you're serving the Scarlet, you're not usually back here. But there's maybe one that's like exiting as you leave that you can talk to if you'd like.
I heard somebody was crying back here.
Oh. Well, not today. I mean, I make people cry all the time. But
Word.
we always have one or two, you know, people that can't handle their Scarlet.
What do you do with them?
Oh.
Like, how do you handle that?
Usually if they don't handle their Scarlet very well, as long as they're not aggressive, we just kind of put them on the street. Call it a day.
Wow.
It's not our problem.
Fair. As I enter, can I do a survey?
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead and roll.
4 and a 3. I'm looking for suits.
You see suits.
Black suits?
They're black suits. You would see 4 of them in a little circle booth playing cards. And I'm going to let you have one of 2 options for your 4. You're either going to notice something about them, or you're going to notice something they're doing.
Something about them.
You notice that all of them have cufflinks with cursive L's on them.
I walk up to them and put my Scarlet on the table, and I say, "Do you guys want to make some real money?"
Roll sway.
I got a 5.
Ooh. They all look at you. We don't need to make real money. What do you want?
Looking for a crybaby.
We might have talked to one. What do you want with him?
His location.
Don't know anymore. Can't give you that.
What can you give me?
What are you offering?
What do you want?
And all 4 of them look at each other. And they're kind of like, you can tell that it's less of that they're thinking of what they want,
Mm-hmm.
and more of they're trying to figure you out, rather than like necessarily be like, yes, let's make a deal. They're like, what the fuck is this man doing? How much you know about things in this world.
Probably more than I should, to be honest with you.
We could make an exchange.
Keep talking.
We can give you information. We could take you somewhere. But you might come out a little less whole.
In exchange for what?
It depends. We don't have the man you're looking for. But we did. We could just tell you, I guess. That's no fun. We could also take you. And you could talk to someone else. Make it a little more fun.
All right, how about this? We play one round. If I win, you just tell me straight up. If I lose, I'll go.
Okay. Deal. Rollies. Roll a die.
2.
I got a 4. They win the game of cards.
Oh god.
My luck had
Bye.
And they put out a hand to you and they go,
Become holy.
better try next time. Take a point of bleed.
Okay.
I look around and I'm like, where's Jaxxon?
Yep, go
and
ahead.
I throw back my whiskey and I go into the room where I last saw him enter.
Yeah, I'll go.
Yeah, I throw back my whiskey. Very not as graceful as Sully did,
Just gag.
but I thought that's what I was supposed to do, so I just did it.
Whoa, okay, yeah, good job. Okay, we're gonna.
You guys enter the back rooms, and you very clearly see Jaxxon sitting on the table of 4 men in black suits.
I like your suits.
Fucking god.
All 4 of them immediately and they go back to their cards.
We're looking for somebody. If we have any information on a man named Matthew. He was seen crying here a couple days ago.
How well do you play cards?
What kind of card games are we talking about?
They're good.
Can I roll a read?
You can, absolutely.
I just want to... I want to know their motive, like their intent. I'm gonna go with the 6.
It's less about their motive
Okay.
because you came to them.
Okay.
They're just sitting here playing cards.
Okay.
And it's more what you get from a read is they know they hold all the cards.
So I don't trust them.
Oh, you should not trust them in the slightest. They are very well aware that now all of you are asking information from them, and they have the information.
But they don't want to give it.
Why should they?
Okay. I just like take a step back and I just stop talking and I just watch.
I look at him and I say, "Are we leaving?"
You sure you want to make that exchange?
Yeah.
They coming?
You don't have to. And you might not make it back if you do. But you guys can come if you want.
What did you gamble? For the record, Jaxxon, I don't know you very well, but I think this was incredibly dumb. But I will come with you.
If we're gonna be dumb, we're gonna be dumb as a group.
Okay.
I don't feel very well right now,
Took a shot of
But-
whiskey.
I will go.
Amazing.
Okay.
need some water.
All 4 of them stand up, and they kind of look at all of you guys, and everyone rolls sense.
Just this
5,
6.
6,
one.
1,
5.
5. You'll take a point of bleed. Everybody else, you don't take bleed in this moment. But you 3 know that feeling as all 4 of them stand up. And all of you are very well aware that you might have just said you'd make a deal with 4 phenomena. And that's where we'll take our break.
Fuck.
There's a Diceberg ahead! Are you ready to wreck into our next adventure? Diceberg Ahead is a tabletop RPG actual play podcast that navigates us through a whirlwind of storytelling. From the bustling airways of Cydonia to the city of Feori, through magic unknown, sealed in a vast magic bubble. DBA is but a vessel for new beginnings, releasing one-shots, interviews, and mini-campaigns on top of our long-standing campaigns. Explore the woodlands with our Root RPG mini-series, or just stick around for a one-shot of Blades in the Dark. All this and more can be found on dicebergahead.com or wherever you listen to podcasts.
So we follow our 4 suits to a building. They walk. They don't get in a car. You don't get on transportation. You walk across the red lamp into Silver Slip. It's not dark yet, but it's definitely getting to dinner time. And they're taking you to a building that is simple, plain on the outside is probably a better word. But Silver Slip is the neighborhood of the primacy. This is your governmental neighborhood. These are lawyers. These are judges. These are professional private practice businesses. Anything where you would wear a suit the entire day, this is where it's located. Everybody's in a limo. They're not driving cars. You're not necessarily like celebrity style rich, but you're business rich. But you guys walk with the suits, and the building you're going to is huge, which isn't uncommon for this area, but it's huge. And unlike some of the other ones where they might be brick or they might be wood, this is like a metal building. Like, stark, of the age, metal. And the center door is metal, and there's a couple of big glass windows out in the front. No shutters, no shades, nothing like that, just windows. You can see straight into the building. It looks like a gigantic sort of like waiting area. And they are headed towards that building. They walk past the front door. Not in it, just past it, going down the other length of the building. And as you guys turn to follow them down sort of like the alleyway beside the building, you notice kind of the immediate difference of like there were bright windows, a lobby area, you know, like a metal door on the front. Once you turn and go into an alleyway on the side, there's no more windows, like there's no doors, it's just a wall of metal. And you just keep walking down the alleyway, and then you turn left to get to the back of the building, and it's the same, no windows, no doors, wall of metal. And there's a singular door. This one's not like the front door. This is like big, heavy, like gonna require some force type of metal door. And there is a lantern hanging above it that is not lit. And so it's bright enough that you guys can see it, but it's just a lantern hanging above it. And there's a big metal door, and they walk to the metal door. It takes 2 of them to open this big ass door. And then 2 wait for you guys to enter and then come up behind you. And they close the door, and then 2 will lead you down the hallway. There is a couple of other doors that offshoot. It kind of looks like offices up here. And then there's one that says, on your left, that says exit. And they open it, and it's a staircase down. And 2 start walking down, and the other 2 wait for you guys to go, assuming we're all going. And they follow behind you, and you guys start heading down the stairs. And you go down the stairway for like what is a little too long. Just a little too long. And then you get sort of like to the bottom, and there are lanterns, very barely lanterns, and curtain sort of square sectioned areas. So there's no doors or anything. It's like a warehouse, huge open basement plan, but sections of each part of this floor and this space have like tall blackout curtains that sort of cover it, and you would draw them like a shower curtain. And each one of these sections has just the smallest lantern that's lit, but the smallest lantern for each one on the outside, and then you can see there's a little teeny bit of light from the inside as well, so you're assuming it might be the same lanterns. But there's hundreds of these. And the suits like take a moment where there's like, wait here. And they sort of like walk and talk to a few other people for a second.
We can see those people?
There's other people?
You can see them. Yeah.
How many other people?
Like 10.
Include 10 others.
10 others.
So 14
Yeah.
total.
That are out here, yeah.
Are they paying any like attention
No,
to
they're
us?
not paying any attention to you whatsoever. They're just talking to each other for a second. You watch them, 2 of them, walk all the way down to a gigantic, like, purple blackout velvet curtain section. And they don't just enter. They stand there and they wait. It takes a second, and then the curtain opens a little bit, and they go inside. And then it's another, like, 2 minutes till they come back out. And they start walking back in your direction. And they go, okay, come this way. And they start walking back to the purple curtain.
Okay.
As you guys walk past, there are the, like, 10 that were interspersed, intermingling. You can definitely tell that maybe not every single curtain, but a lot of these curtains have things in them. Assuming people. But, like, there are some voices as you pass other curtains. There's some movement as you pass other curtains. There are a lot of people down here. A lot of things down here. And you just sort of head towards... There are a few people are staying around. They give you a few looks and stuff. But they don't say anything to you as you walk with the suits.
What are they wearing?
Everyone down here is in a suit.
Okay.
Everyone down here is in a suit. And you sort of walk to the purple curtain, and you wait a second, and then one of the suits goes inside the curtain, and you wait another second, and then he just sort of like takes the curtain a little bit, enough for like one person to enter at a time. So who's going in first? What order are we going?
I don't mind going first.
Okay.
I'll take the back.
I'll come after Jaxxon.
I guess I'll be third.
Okay. So as you guys enter, one by one, you see kind of a layout of like beanbag chairs and other sort of cushions and things all over the floor for like sitting. Carpets of all different colors, like little slippers in certain areas. And you see this really like tall man, because he's sitting down and he's even still tall. And he's in a black suit. And as you enter, he looks just like another ordinary guy. He's got like slicked back hair. And as you enter, he goes, "Welcome! I hear we're making deals today. How fun." And he puts out his hand.
What is this?
Oh, come on now. Nobody? Where'd you learn all your manners?
Where's Matthew?
Oh, you like to get straight to the point, don't you? You must be the one who made the deal. Cute. So, is this your, viewers?
My viewers?
You don't know what you signed up for, do you?
I don't.
Oh, this is gonna be fun. Well, I love new people. But you see, the exchange doesn't work that way. I don't just give you information so you can turn around and run. No. I either get what I want first, or, I guess if you want your information first, I'm gonna have to call a few more men just to make sure you can. You know what I mean?
And what is it you want?
That's for me to know and you to find out. And if you didn't know what you signed up for, that's your problem. So, you want your info first or second?
I'll take it second.
Okay, great, fabulous. Everybody have a seat. Make sure you're sitting. I don't need anyone passing out. Thank you. And he very clearly is gonna like wait to see if you all sit down.
I sit last.
Okay, do you guys sit? Yeah? Bohdi, do you sit?
Yeah.
Okay. And he's like, okay, so you come here right in the center, have a seat on the floor for me.
I do.
He sort of goes, now, how much information did you want? You want, like, everything? You have something specific you're looking for?
Did they tell you what I was looking for?
Matthew Harrison.
Yes.
But, like...
There's
what do you-
more than that.
Oh, okay, great.
Does the name Helen mean anything to you?
Helen.
Going off script here.
I would have to check. I don't have a memory quite that big, but...
So there are things that you don't know.
Oh, no, I know. I just don't remember everyone's name. I mean, you do know what we do here, right? I mean, not this side of it, but you know what our actual business is, right?
I don't. Can you tell me?
Absolutely,
Queen.
sweetheart. We're legacy. We're the record keepers.
The record keepers.
Of course, we keep the records for everyone in New Fair. The primacy, the judiciary, the police force, everything and anything we keep records of. So of course I probably know the name somewhere, but I'd have to check the records.
What's your
I'll wait.
name?
My name? Oh, how sweet. That's cute. Sweetheart, my name's Zachariah. Founder, owner, CEO, any other terms you'd like, darling.
Well, I wish I could say that it's a pleasure to meet you, but I don't know what's going on. So we'll see.
Oh, it's always a pleasure for me. So, somewhat of a pleasure to meet me. Lovely. Well, yes, so to answer your question, and to answer all of your questions, if you have any information you want, I guarantee I have records. I just have to look for them. That's why I ask whether you want first or my end first. Because I have to go searching. It's not like we have something that can look them up.
Will I be in a state to receive the information?
Ooh, now
If
you're
I go
asking
second.
questions that are important. Look at you. Again, depends how much you want. If you want everything, maybe. Your friends can take the info for you.
This is true.
You still want me to go first?
Why not?
All right. And he calls up a few of the... Well, he talks to the one suit that's standing in there with y'all. And the suit goes out and then comes back, and you can see just, like, the feet, because these are curtains. So you can see the feet of about, like, 15 more people line the outside of this curtain.
Oh.
And he's like, great, just so you don't, run. And he's like, now I should warn you, this is going to hurt. So,
I assume so.
yeah. And he gestures to one of the suits again, and one of the suits exits, and then comes back in with... You three kind of recognize it. You might. It looks like that electric lantern.
No.
But it's gigantic.
Fuck.
And he places it in front of you. So if we're like seating, lantern, you. And he's like, you three, assuming you want to keep your eyesight, maybe don't look directly at the light bulb, okay? Okay. And he's like, it shouldn't matter for you. You won't remember. And he gets ready to turn on the light. And he's like, oh. Actually, let me have one of you do it. And one of the little minions comes in, and the minion goes over the light. He's like, great, thank you. And he walks behind you. And he goes, okay, We'll count it down. Ready? 3, 2. Oh, I got you, didn't I? And then he goes, oh, 1. And the minion turns on this light, and this thing is like blinding. It's very, very bright. And it casts directly onto you. It's a little targeted, so it's not going into y'all's eyes. It's just bright. It's targeted to you, so it casts onto the front of you and creates this incredibly large, like, shadow behind you. And you just see, you don't, but because you're not facing him, but you guys see Zachariah just walks over, and he's got, like, the biggest smile on his face, and he just kind of dips his finger into this shadow. And I need you to take 4 points of bleed.
Whoa.
And you feel like every fiber in your being, every skin, every bone, every molecule vibrate. And at first it's like tickling, but very quickly it is like someone took a cord from an engine and just revved it into you. And it's painful and it's shocking and you're probably yelling. And it, at the same time, like, you feel that, and then all of a sudden you feel like very weak and frail, and like the moisture is being drained from your body, and as if your skin is being pulled against your bone and there's no muscle, it's just kind of crunching you. And you drop incapacitated. And you just see Zachariah like, ooh, guess he can't take a lot, poor thing. Once that's done, the minion like clicks off the light and then walks back out. He leaves the light there though. Zachariah's just like, ooh. Well, when he wakes up, we'll tell him. Or I can tell all of you, whichever your preference is.
Tell us what?
Well, the info!
Oh.
A deal is a deal. I don't go back on my word. Anything you want to know about Matthew, I'm here to tell.
What kind of creature are we dealing with when it comes to Matthew Harrison?
Oh, me, sweetheart.
Oh, perfect.
Do you know where he is?
No, I do my service, I exchange my deal, and they leave. I don't care what happens after that.
Deal?
Of course.
You made a deal with Matthew.
Oh, of course.
What was the deal?
Well, my men said that he was in some sort of a bar, whining and crying about going to jail and all of these things, and they brought him to me. They said that he, well, in short form, needs to forget. And so, very simply, they bring him to me, we make a deal, I wipe the incident from... Oh, what's his name? The husband, whoever he was. And Matthew gets to go scot-free in exchange for a little of what you just saw.
The incident.
Yes.
Where is he now?
Well, like I said, I do my service, I let them go. I don't know.
What exactly is your service?
Oh, I wipe memory.
From who?
Well, whoever needs it, of course.
What do you do with it?
I keep records. Record keeping, honey.
And what kind of lasting effects do your clients experience?
Well, depends how much they want. You see, the more I take, the more it takes from you. So it really just depends. If you have something you really need gone, it's going to leave you a little bit like that.
I would like to do a sense on him to see if his is the bleed that I recognize and if it's the one that I recognized.
Mm-hmm.
Total is a 3.
Wow.
Yeah.
You rolled a critical success earlier.
I did.
Hey.
Oh no! That means this is very high stakes. God. Okay, sorry.
I would would like to have a conversation with you away from this table.
Oh.
If you would like.
Sure, yeah.
Okay, we'll be back. He also kind of looks at all of you. You're starting to come to now. And he looks at all of you and he's like, so, any other deals? Things you want to know? Things you want to forget? Like I said, I can remove it, but I also keep everything.
Did we get to know the result of his critical success?
Absolutely not.
Right. That makes sense. That's okay.
What is your scar?
That sensation of vibration just feels like magma is flowing over my whole body.
Nice.
But it's not like, obviously you can't see that.
Right.
But that's what it feels like.
Okay. He's sort of like, as you come back to, he's like, welcome! I did just finish filling in all of your friends. But if you have anything else you want to know about Matthew or deals or whatever you want to do, let me know. I'm happy to help.
That'll be all for now, Zachariah.
Okay.
I have a question.
Of course.
We can know about anyone.
Of course. I have records. Anything that me or my men have been involved with, I have records on.
And what if I made a deal to know about you?
Interesting. Fun. Okay. You want to make a deal to know about me? Ooh. How much do you want to know? There's quite a bit.
All of it.
All of it. And he sort of pauses for a second. Roll hide.
5.
Well, I would love to make an exchange like that. Don't know that you could handle all of it. Might make you a little more than passed out. But perhaps we could come to some sort of arrangement.
And I get the same options that he did.
Oh, of course. Whether info's first or whether I take? Yes, absolutely, of course. Same deals all around. I'm willing to honor this deal to an extent. What would you like to know?
I want to know what you are exactly.
Oh, interesting. All right. If we're going to stop playing fun and games and we're actually going to speak about serious matters, then we might as well get right to it. First of all, give Candela Obscura my condolences. They may lose a few members today. Second of all, you could call me many things. I believe their term is Jaxxon is what they like to use. Phenomena, magic, through the flare, whatever it is you want to use, those are the terms and agreements. I've run into them once or twice, I suppose. You're annoying little flies, you know? But that's me.
I stand up, and I start to walk over to the light that they used. On the way there, from what I understand, information taken by your kind is gone. But it sounds like you keep it here.
I do.
and I'll turn the light on. I watch the person do it, but I'm standing behind it, so I'm not in the light yet.
Okay.
And for my last question, 28 years ago, you fed on a woman. Would you have that information?
Yes, I would.
Very good. And I'll step into the light.
I'm gonna let anyone in this moment attempt or say anything they would like before we continue this.
I want to throw one of my snaps at the lantern right when it turns on.
It's already on, though.
It's the lantern. It's on.
It's already on.
Not when Bohdi jumps in front of it.
What are you
before.
trying to do?
Trying to blind Zachariah so we can just.
I will above board tell you if that light bulb didn't blind him, your snaps aren't gonna blind him.
Okay. Okay.
What if we throw it at his face?
That could work. If you want to aim for his face.
Yeah.
If you aim for his face, can I aim for his hand?
For the ring?
For the ring?
You may. You both have to, you have to roll control.
Okay. Oh god.
You're gonna have to roll
Oh god.
move for that.
Okay.
Can I use saw this coming?
Yes, but you have to pick.
I'm going to pick.
4.
Okay, make success. What did you
You have a
just
resistance. You
roll?
have a resistance.
Oh, you do?
What happened?
You have one reroll.
Uh-huh.
What'd you roll?
I rolled 2 1s and a 2. Please.
You gotta do it. Come on, Sully.
6.
Oh,
Damn!
Oh.
You weren't supposed to do that.
Too bad. I did.
Uh-huh.
You are able to throw yours. Does not hit him in the face. Does not blind him. Does make him turn to you. Which lets you pull that ring out. Essentially what happens is, as Bohdi is going to step into this light, you think, but you also panic a little. And you chuck this little snap. Without an impact, this snap does nothing. It has to impact to break.
I tried.
So you throw it, like, ding, off his shoulder, and he was like, this, eye contacted with you, and then he's just kind of like, the breaking of this moment is important to him, and he's not happy about that. So it just kind of goes from like a and the hands can feel them
Oh.
scritching around.
Oh no. He is the hands.
But this time they're not just like scritching. They're clawing.
Oh my god.
And they're shredding. And you better hope and pray that the thing you wanted to remember, when you pull out that Polaroid again, you still remember his name. Take 3 points of bleed.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay.
Now that moment of you gathering his slightest amount of fury, you and every instinct you have, because you are a war vet, you have dealt with these kind of creatures, you just were at the fucking your old house and watched Dorothy fucking die and scream. He has blatantly said to all of you, yeah, that shits me. You, in this moment, I don't know that you're even necessarily contemplating consequences. I don't know that it's necessarily for them. I think it's for you.
Yeah.
And I think you take out this ring And every ounce of your brain, of your heart, of all those people you keep not saving. Every single fucking time. That's your job.
Mhm.
And every time they die, or they're in pain, or they become one of these, it's your fault. And I think all of that comes out as you take that ring and you slide it over his finger. And for a second, nothing happens. He breaks his gaze with you. He looks down at this ring. And he kind of looks at it. He goes, "Oh. I was wondering when I'd get this back. Thank you. That's so nice of you, darling."
We made a big mistake.
And he taps it a little bit. Very cute. Now, where were we?
No.
You specifically,
Yeah.
he reaches out a hand because the big light was turned on, but it's facing this way. There's a little lamp outside of each of these curtains, and it's just the tiniest bit of light. He reaches out a hand in your direction, and he's like, "No more of that, okay?" And you feel like you cannot move your seat.
I can't move my seat.
You can't get up. You cannot
Oh.
move. Like, you can move, but you cannot leave where you're at. Stay seated, okay? That was cute, though. Nice try. So, where were we? Should we continue?
I'm gonna do just the last thing I, as a soldier who is upset right now, knows what to do, and I take my gun and I try to shoot him in the head.
Okay, roll strike.
Okay. I know I'm fucked.
Wouldn't that be funny if you could kill him with a bullet after the ring didn't work?
I take that back. I'm not aiming for the head, I'm aiming for his finger. I'm gonna,
Okay.
I'm gonna shoot the ring off of his finger.
Okay.
You want to shoot it off, or you want to shoot the ring?
Yes.
Roll strike.
The gilded is a 4.
You hit the target. So you hit sort of this relative area. And it kind of like cracks the ring. It's the little void on the top cracks. It's about halfway. Roll me sense.
That's a 1.
Ooh.
Bye. Bye, guys.
You're
real.
not taking any damage. I'm just gonna say that's all you see. Is that ring cracks about halfway up.
Okay.
And he just sort of goes, "Well, that was rude. Sit down. Unless you want to deal too, but you can, wait your turn."
I look at Bohdi, and I look at Billie, and I look at Jaxxon, and I just sit down.
So you flip on that light and you step in front of it, correct?
Mm-hmm.
The moment you step in front, with all the shit that happens, he doesn't see it at first. Because of this and that again. You know what you're doing, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't. Because he's like, what the fuck are these fuckers doing? This is cute. Once she sits down, he looks back over to you. He's just sort of like, okay. And it takes him a second because you haven't broken this confidence. Whatever this certainty is, you haven't broken. He's not concerned, but he's curious. And that's when it clicks. And he's looking at you, and he's like, oh, you sly little dog.
I believe you're not one to go back on a deal.
No, I'm not. I will say, I don't like to lose. But my word is my word. What do you want?
I want her name.
Oh, sweetheart. Someone hasn't been sharing with you. It's already been said.
What are you talking about?
Helen Masters. That's her name. That's her name.
Helen.
Helen.
Why do you know that name?
How do you know that name?
Ooh, fun conversations. I love Candela not telling everyone everything. It's so great. Anyways, that's what you wanted from your deal? I'll play along a little more if you'd like.
One more.
Okay.
And he'll look behind him at nothing,
Yup.
as Bohdi doesn't have a shadow.
Oh.
Yup.
Oh.
What am I?
Ooh. You don't know. Oh, I got things I can tell you. In short, my little clever, shadowless friend, I believe your people call them unabridged. I would ask Candela for info, but apparently if they're not telling you that, they might not tell you more either. I've got records on a few who I've met before. Could probably send them your way, or you to them, seeing as they don't die. That would be my guess anyway. It's the only one time I've ever seen that before.
An unabridged.
Hmm?
And her name was Helen.
Her name was Helen. And he sort of stops in the midst of all this. Why did you want to know?
That wasn't part of the deal.
My, you're interesting. Okay. It's not part of our deal today. Something tells me we'll have a new one. Very well.
I'm not fucking touching this.
I think we have enough
Yeah.
information for now.
More than that.
Zachariah,
Yes.
can we get out of here?
Well, as long as our business is concluded.
For now.
For now.
For now. Do me a favor, though. Tell Candela to send a little less shooty people. But you can thank them for the ring. That was very sweet. Everybody roll sense for me.
3.
4.
4.
Okay. All of you start to feel the tiniest amount of pull. That's it.
Pull as in what?
Pull is in something's pulling on you.
Like back?
I guess we should stay. You don't know.
Less of stay. I wouldn't assign a...
Direction.
Oh, it's not that I wouldn't assign a direction. I wouldn't assign a human thought or emotion to the pull. It's just a pull.
I will just say before I go, don't go anywhere.
Oh, darling. Where could I go?
Bohdi, how do you know that name?
How do you know that name?
I only know that Helen Masters was the victim of a Adaxani attack years ago.
That's true. Do you know more about Miss Helen Masters?
No.
Did you know that at the time she was attacked by Zachariah, or whatever he wants to go by, that Helen Masters was pregnant?
I did not.
Is Helen your mom?
I believe so, yes.
Is Bohdi your real name?
It's a given name. It's funny that you asked about the Pharaohs, seeing as how I've probably been there more than all of you, as Candela houses me. My given name is Bohdi. My first name is No. No. Bohdi. It's funny. Until you think about it. I'm expendable. I don't go on second missions with circles because too long near me causes consequences.
Like what?
Stay long enough and you'll find out.
Why are you on this mission?
That's a question I asked our lightkeeper and was given no answer.
I'm tired of Candela's secrets. I really am.
Why were you asking about her?
Okay. It's my assignment to capture Zachariah. And I wasn't sure he was the one who killed her, but I thought he would know. I thought he could lead me, which I suppose he did.
That's not a real answer. If your goal was to capture Zachariah, why would they give you a woman's name that's been dead for almost 30 years?
Why do they do anything? They do. We only get half-truths from them. I take what I get, I use it.
We need to leave.
Where should we go?
The chapter house. We
Maybe
need to.
Ellie knows something?
We need to talk to her about that ring. Either she didn't know what it did, or she lied.
Or maybe Zachariah is just too powerful.
I mean, it's his ring.
How did you get his ring?
That is a fucking excellent question. I agree. Let's get to the chapter house.
you come across the Candied Clinic, and you sort of step inside, and I need everybody to roll survey.
2.
5.
You step foot into the waiting area to go down into the basement. Something's not right. And you notice the buzzer with her call next to it. The light's out.
What the fuck? I take out my gun. My tried and true. Always helpful. Are the lights off?
Rest of the lights are on. Just the buzzer light.
I don't even bother pressing it, and I walk to her office.
Okay. You headed to the basement?
Yeah.
Okay. I assume everyone follows. Okay. So you guys head down the stairs to the basement, and looks like it always does.
Ellie Mae. I call her name.
There's no answer.
I go up and down hallways, kicking down doors, calling her name.
There's no Ellie Mae. There's patients. You wake a few.
I go to one of the less traumatized patients, and I wake them up. Hey, sorry.
Who the fuck are you?
That's none of your fucking business. Where's Ellie Mae? Where's the doctor?
I don't know.
Fuck. All right, go back to sleep. Sorry.
Okay.
I kiss them gently on the forehead. Sorry.
Goes back to sleep.
Where would she be?
Guys, she's not here.
I don't know. She doesn't go anywhere else. This is where she lives. This is where she works.
We
this
need
is what
to
she does.
find out the person she was talking about when we saw her last. Do you remember?
Naomi.
Naomi.
Naomi. You know Naomi, right?
Yeah.
How do we get to her?
You two both, you guys, probably not as much, but both of you guys would know of a bunch of different thinnings in the area. Because you both have worked for Candela for so long. I don't think we need to detail necessarily where one is, but you would definitely know of like a thinning that's going to lead to some part of the Fourth Pharaohs. Navigating your way to Naomi is a different situation. But it'll get you into the Fourth Pharaohs. You can step right through. Thinnings vary in kind of like what they look like and that kind of thing and where they're at. You find one, you go to one that is relatively like hidden, but not like, you know, in a back alley or something. It's like probably in a bookstore that's got like an abandoned sign on it, but in reality, Candela owns it, etc., etc. And you all step through the thinning, and you end up in this space that is kind of like a giant hallway. And there's no doors. There's no nothing. It's just like giant hallway.
I'm gonna grab a glass of whiskey
Go for it.
real quick.
You pull it out from the white of the walls that don't exist.
Oh, you can just do that.
Do you want one?
Fuck yeah.
Okay, I pull one out for everybody. It's Shirley Temple for.
Yeah, beautiful. Everybody's got one.
Now, before I came to you, I was in Naomi's office. So it would stand to reason I can make my way back.
You can try.
I would like to try.
Roll sense.
4.
It takes a moment of you remembering what the office is to you. Whether it's the desk, whether it's the bookshelf, whether it's Naomi. It's remembering the space, remembering the person. And as you start to do that, the hallway begins to like blend and merge and shift. It's a little fuzzy, but there is a door in front of you guys. It looks like the door you're used to.
I open the door.
Okay. You open it, and you all see a woman. It is Naomi, writing into a book, sitting at her desk.
What the hell, Naomi?
All right, we're starting strong. Okay.
Could ask you the same question.
Did you... You knew about Zachariah, didn't you?
The circle, I presume. Interesting. You're not one to tell.
Did you not think we would live?
Oh, less of me not thinking you would live and more of me not thinking you were a people person. We had hunches about Zachariah. That's why I sent you.
Fully unequipped.
Well, that's your fault.
Hardly.
Hmm.
The information you deal as a weapon is weak.
We didn't have much on him. I know whatever's in my records, but he's got a lot more than I do.
Everyone in their records.
Yeah, he
Welcome.
seemed to have a lot.
Oh, he does. That's why I wanted them.
Did you think I didn't try?
Kind of, if you brought your circle back to me.
We're here on unrelated business. Do you know where Ellie Mae is?
The Lightkeeper?
Yes, the Lightkeeper.
No.
You don't know. You don't keep
No.
tabs on your Lightkeepers?
No.
Can I read on her?
Yeah, go for it.
CX.
Naomi is many things. She is a blunt person. She is very straight to the point person. She's her fair share of lying, deceitful, that kind of jazz. But this is a moment of genuine, like, why would I know where your Lightkeeper is?
Oh my god.
So, she might know other things.
But not that.
She has no idea why you're asking about the Lightkeeper.
What do you know about void rings?
Well, they're somewhat of an artifact. I can look. And she reaches into the air and just sort of, till she finds one and pulls out a book from the air. She opens it and she sort of flips through a few pages. Mostly what we have on them is one void ring was found in a mission with the Circle of Transcension a long time ago. There doesn't seem to be much more unusual besides an artifact they found in Old Fair.
Does it say anything about what its purpose is?
Well, we've documented that the ring itself sort of encompasses certain dealings with phenomena, takes it into the void, which is the orb that it's held on the ring, and we haven't entirely accessed how to remove most things.
We put that ring on Zachariah.
Why?
Well, as you just described what it does, we thought it would do. But it turns out it was his ring.
She sort of like takes one of her pencils and she
Write that down.
literally she makes a note of it underneath the void ring, sort of taking her time making sure her details are right. And she taps it. And she puts the book back in the shelf. She grabs one from underneath this table. And this time it's like a book that she grabs, but when she opens it, like stacks of more books appear. And she sort of she pulls one out. She closes that stack again, puts it back under. I don't have much on the Circle of Transcension. That would be your best bet, but if their mission was that long ago, there's no telling that there's still a circle. You could look for a member or two, but
Do you know
Do you have
any of the
names?
members? Yeah.
Well, it should be kept in the record. There aren't any in here.
No names?
There's no names.
How convenient.
Perfect.
Huh. She's just as like
Is
as all of you. She's
Um,
not happy.
you gotta give me something for this.
No, you didn't fulfill your end of the bargain. He's not here, is he? You see him in my vault? No, you don't.
You better hope I don't find what I'm looking for.
Oh, you won't. But you can try. The flare will eat you before you can get there.
Great. Since everybody knows what everybody else is talking about and everyone's on the same level of understanding, I think that's great. We'll find our Lightkeeper by ourselves. Thanks for your help.
Bohdi,
Do you-
this is your chance.
Why are you inquiring about Helen Masters?
Well, Zachariah, of course. Was the easiest way to get to him. Hoping it would trigger something. And that's why he is the way he is.
How did you even get that name?
I'm the records keeper of Candela. I have every name.
Even of those forgotten.
I should.
So you have the name of Helen Masters and not any of the members of the Circles of Transaction.
Well, that's the issue. When a creature, whatever Zachariah was before your incident, a Jaxxon, when they wipe memory. They don't wipe records. They couldn't wipe names from the Circle of Transaction. The only explanation would be that that's not their record. But I don't know how anyone could get into my house.
Did you know what Bohdi was?
What do you mean?
You know
And
what I mean.
unabridged.
Interesting.
Well, that answers that.
Sorry, I didn't mean to out you.
What's interesting about it?
And she takes a pen. And she begins to write. Because you all have files, so she pulls out your file and just begins to write on it. And she's like, we assumed that Zachariah's attack would have affected you in some way, made you a phenomenon, something of the sort, but we don't know of any other way to make an unabridged besides the rituals they share, so that's interesting.
Why did you said Bohdi had connection to...
Yes.
And it sounds like you knew exactly what the connection was.
Well, of course, I'm the records keeper.
So how do you not know he's unabridged?
Like I said, the only way to make them is through ritual. You shouldn't be able to just become one. We've
Then what
never
did
heard
you
that
think the
before.
connection was? Between him and Zachariah?
Well, Zachariah. Zachariah is the one who, devoured your mother. But it took you two. We're not aware of this.
What?
What do you mean?
Well, we assumed the reason you didn't have a shadow was because Zachariah took your life force too. Just because you're alive doesn't mean you're alive. That's why people don't remember you. It's why we don't send you to the same circle, because they don't remember who you are. We assumed it was all the same effect. But if Zachariah seems convinced that you are not one of him, then that means we've got something to look into.
So since we're all asking questions, and it seems like we're all connected in some way, do you by any chance know a James?
I can check the records since we're having
You're already out.
What's his last name?
House.
Okay. And she goes, is he a phenomena? Is he a friend of yours? Does he know Candela, etc., etc.?
I don't know.
Okay. And
He was a friend of mine, but I don't know if he knew anything about Candela.
Okay. And she just, this one's gonna take her a little longer when all you've got is a name. So she takes a moment and she opens up a few files. She's kind of searching. She puts one aside. She's like, I'm gonna give you a moment. If you guys want to converse with yourselves, you can. If you don't, I'll continue.
Is it true that nobody remembers you after you work with them?
Yes.
How come we do?
I don't know.
I'm glad we do.
Yeah.
How long have you been in this circle?
This is only my second time with this circle. The only one of which I've been assigned a second time.
Interesting.
How do you work with Naomi?
That's the question.
Just as
isn't it?
anybody works with anybody.
So is there like a job interview or is it benefits?
I'm one of Candela's leading bleed experts. And so it is my job, tends to be my job, to take on some of the more dangerous bleed-related assignments.
Where'd you gain that expertise from?
My history with Candela.
Well, all right.
You hear her stop. Like you can audibly recognize her pause. She looks at it. She looks at you. Detective James Allison.
Yes. Yes, that's him.
And she closes the book. She puts it away. Give me your hand. She takes her pen. She writes a couple of different glyphs on it. That will take you there, but you might not like what you find.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
Since we're in the interest of finding people, anything on Private Edward Bennett?
I can look. Phenomena, friend.
All of the above.
Pulls out a different book. She flips through a little bit. She kind of goes like this.
I know he's dead, I just... was wondering what the outcome may have been.
I wouldn't be so sure of that. We don't have many sightings. After your incident, we had maybe on record 2, although one looks a little iffy. Similar build, similar form. No Circle's been able to pin him to a location, though.
He's alive.
I don't know if alive is the word I'd use. But for our purposes, yes.
And they didn't.
Tell you?
Sorry I asked. Thank you.
Yeah. Now, your lightkeeper is missing?
Yes.
Interesting.
Can you locate her?
It's not that simple with lightkeepers. Ellie Mae doesn't usually leave her clinic. We didn't call for her. At least I have not had a call sent for her. My guess would be one of two options. Either, like many people, she found herself face to face with a phenomena that she couldn't handle, or someone else in Candela has called for her. I don't know.
Do you know who would call for her?
The lightkeepers are generally dealt with by a different round of people. There's a lot. It depends on where you're at in New Fair. We have a lot of chapter houses. There's no telling who exactly would have called for her. It's possible even another lightkeeper could for assistance. I don't know.
How does one become a lightkeeper?
To put it simply, you're no longer fit for the field.
But you were once in a circle.
Mm-hmm.
And what was Ellie Mae's circle?
She pulls out Ellie Mae's file.
That's a good question.
She pulls out a file you've seen before. She opens it.
Fuck.
She writes.
What's the other file?
Apparently, you've just found your first member of the Circle of Transcension.
Fucking knew it.
Of course.
How the record got messed up, I don't know. But if you figure out how, you tell me.
Why should we trust you?
You don't have to if you don't want to, although I did just sit here and give you every answer you've ever been looking for.
That's true.
In addition to those answers, how do you recommend we take down Zachariah? Sully shot him.
Well,
Seemed
Put
Well-
a void ring
Well-
on him and he politely thanked me.
Well, we don't have much record of the rings or who they belong to or anything like that besides Circle of Transcension.
Are there any weaknesses that Jaxxon have?
Well, that's the problem. That's why I sent you after him. After that, he's not an
With-
Jaxxon.
No information. How
We
would you
don't
expect me
know
to
it.
capture him with no information?
I
Sounds
don't know
like-
what you want me to tell you.
You know what I want you to tell me.
If Ellie Mae has information that even this record keeper doesn't have, then I think we know who we need to find.
It's possible. I wouldn't. With Zachariah still functioning with his little hands and everything, you may have two resources on your hands. I am the records keeper for Candela. Those files I have, those records I own. But he's going to have files on everything else for the most part. That's why I want them. If you manage to get them, bring them back for me. If you don't, you may be making a few deals.
It's nothing but deals.
I can't help more than that.
I want to go see where James is.
That will take you there. You can bring the rest with you if you want. I should warn you, though, they'll know you're there once you get there. So you're going to have a limited amount of time.
They?
Candela.
Oh,
But also, who do we report to?
exactly.
I don't care about your assignments, frankly.
Are you not the one who assigned it?
I'm the records keeper. I don't assign.
But you hold information.
I hold information.
And
Who assigns?
Oh, well, that's sort of managed by a bunch of different people. They send out different assignments to whoever they think is fit. Now, I did steer it towards your direction. So, in theory, I assigned it to you. But I don't assign the rest of the assignments. It's not a normal thing I do.
so you put me in this circle.
Yes.
And you withheld the information.
Yes.
I see.
Do you know if James might know anything about Zachariah?
Whether or not he knows and whether or not he's able to tell you are two very different things. I don't know what state you'll find him in. It's not my job.
Okay.
Let's just get out of here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's go.
What's the lighting like in this room?
White.
Like, how bright is it?
Oh, it's bright.
Okay.
It's very, very bright.
Is there like a light switch or anything?
You can try and manifest one if you want.
I will.
You can roll sense.
4.
Yeah, you can manifest one.
I'll do that and I will flip it off. What's the lighting like now?
What do you want it to be?
It can be a dimmer, like just dim light,
Sure.
just so like enough we can see.
Yeah.
And I want to look at Naomi before we walk over to the door. Withholding information is a certain power that one has that might not necessarily one should have. Tell me, you keep saying that you're a records keeper, and I'm walking toward her desk as I'm doing this. Tell me, what would you say is a records keeper's greatest fear?
Losing the records.
At this point, stand at her desk. What's her positioning like?
She's probably standing now, but where her seat would be.
So I'm just gonna be on the other side of the desk, and I'm gonna reach for her wrist. As I grab her wrist, my guess is that a records keeper's greatest fear is to be forgotten. And I want to take in the darkness around me. My eyes will go pitch black, and I will use my forget-me-not ability.
What?
I think the thing that stands out to you is Naomi is not afraid. She is simply acknowledging their understanding, whatever you want to call it, but it's not fear, it's not anxiety. She has been doing this job, working for Candela, living inside the flare long enough that she's not afraid anymore. And these things come with the territory. And they might not be as aware of the things you can do as they should be. And as you hold her wrist and the shadows engulf you, the shadows at first sort of radiate off of that wrist, just in little like spectrals. And then they begin to travel until they sort of like consume her entire shape. And in this moment of like consumption, when there's no person, there's no being, there's no thought, there's no memory, what is that like for you while it's happening?
I imagine it hurts. Not physically, really. Just because it's not something that Bohdi likes about himself, and he tries to separate himself from that part. But I think everything that happened today and all the things that Naomi just told him just kind of took over, and I think it's just like a darkness is taking over him, and like there's a little bit of pride in it too, which is strange. Does she notice the blackness go up her arm?
Yes, but she doesn't lose eye contact with you.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't struggle.
Mm-hmm.
She just kind of lets it occur.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not gonna make you roll. You
Mhm.
know what it entails. It will work.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
And you're gonna have a moment where, when it begins to creep, because it sort of balls in this center,
Mm-hmm.
and it creates, haha, fun, like a little hourglass in the center, and the sand just starts sort of pouring. It's like a twisting void of a black sand hourglass. And as it spins in the center, it begins to then expand back out and leave from her the same way it came to you. She looks the same. She appears the same. But you've got a moment before we're back.
I'll look at her as she's looking at me. Candela gave me the name of Bohdi, but I've never been nobody. Today, you will know what it means to be nobody. And I'll let go. I do take a scar from that too.
Yes, you do. And that's gonna be the end of our second episode. We appreciate you. We're gonna go around the table real fast. We'll start this section and we'll go around. Give us your name, where they can find you, and who you're playing for me.
Hi, I'm Lizzie. I play Billie, Blaine, and I'm traumatized. My Instagram is Lizzie tries to be an artist.
Beautiful.
Hello, I'm Reese. I play Bohdi. My Instagram is reese.anthony.
Beautiful.
My name is Molley Boozell. I'm playing Sully, and you can find my Instagram at MMBK Illustrations.
Excellent.
Hey, my name's Dillon Sickels, and you can find everything you need to know at dillonsickels.com.
Fabulous.
I'm also playing Jaxxon. I should have said that.
Yes.
Dylan's just here.
Oh my lord. Thank you, everybody. I am Rachel Schumacher. You better be following me on these platforms. Goodbye. Thank you for playing. We'll see you on episode 3.